Welcome to Finance in Excel video number 74. Hey, if you want to download this workbook for Chapter 8 or the PDFs for Chapter 8, click on the link directly below the video and scroll way down to the Excel Finance class section. Hey, we want to talk about IRR and NPV. These are models we're using to decide whether to purchase an asset or not based on discounted cash flows. And in the last video, we talked about IRR, but now we need to talk about two problems. One problem in this video and the other problem in the next video. But net present value and IRR will generally give us the same decision. If we have conventional cash flows, that just means cash flow at time 0 is negative and all the rest are positive. Or when the projects are independent. So conventional cash flows or the projects are independent, no problem. You can use either one. Right? But if you have non-conventional cash flows, which means there's another negative value, which is not uncommon somewhere in a time other than 0, IRR does not give us the right answer. And if we have mutually exclusive projects, we will have problems with IRR. So in this video, we're going to talk about conventional cash flows. And the rule is, do not use the IRR for projects that have non-conventional cash flows, and do not use IRR for projects that are mutually exclusive. Not OK to use IRR. Use NPV instead. Let's look over in Excel our non-conventional cash flows. So I'm going to calculate our net cash flow. Here's the cash out, cash in. So I'm going to say cash in right there minus plus because we have it listed as a negative. Copy it down. So we have cash flow. There's a negative and a negative, right? And a positive in the middle. So as soon as we have, this is non-conventional because all of the remaining cash flows, if there were lots more, have to be positive for it to be conventional. So this is non-conventional. Let's just calculate IRR and see what we get. Remember, IRR can take cash flows at time 0 and after. So 14%. If our internal rate of return, inside the firm, we have determined that our required rate is 15%, and we have an IRR of 14, that means we cannot accept this project. Now let's calculate net present value. The rate, that's our required. The period rate, it's annual, comma, and the values. Remember, for net present value, you can only highlight cash flow 1 and later, close parentheses, and then you add or subtract the cost. I'm going to add this negative, and that's how you calculate the net present value. So it looks like it's positive. So if we're using the net present value rule, then we accept this project. So what in the world is going on? Well, there's a problem here. And anytime, so negative, and it's supposed to be positive to be conventional cash flows. That means the sign changed only once. From here, it went to positive. If they were all positive, that means there'd be one sign change. But here, there's two. So it goes from negative to negative. Anytime you have two or more sign changes, the IRR won't work. It'll give you at least two answers, or sometimes no answer. Well, the IRR will actually spit out an error. Let's go ahead and plot this and see if we can figure out what the problem is here. I'm going to do the net present value profile just like we've done a few times already. The rate, I'm going to click right here. That's our equals net present value. Our rate, that is our period required return, comma, and our cash values right here. And the net present value doesn't care if they're not conventional. I'm going to hit the F4 key to lock it, close parentheses, and then I'm going to add this and hit the F4 key. So those are locked. That one's not using the F4 key. So I double click and send this down. Now let's plot this. You can already see, oh, look at that. Some negative, and then it goes to positive, and then it goes to negative. Ooh, that means this line is going to cross the axis twice. Now, I'm actually not going to, in earlier videos, we did a area chart. But here, we're only want to see the line and not the area. So we're going to do an XY scatter. So I'm going to highlight that whole area, Control asterisk on the number pad. we have our label and x value, our label and the y values. I go up to Insert, Scatter, and I'm going to use this one right here. Ooh, there is the problem. It's crossing twice. And that is the problem when you have non-conventional cash flows like this. You're going to get at least two answers here. Now I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to delete that. Delete that. And I'm just going to put two labels. Layout, vertical. I'm going to type net present value. Enter. I'm going to go up here. Horizontal. This is going to be RRR. This is the required. And so there we have it. We have 2 points. And you can point to this, and it's interesting that Excel will do this. But right there you can see it's about 14%. And then right here it's about 47%. So there's actually 2 rates. Now this is just to illustrate what's going on here. It's got 2 rates, and so which one is the correct one? I don't know. So no problem. We have the net present value, so that's the calculation you make. Now in 2 videos ahead, we'll see that there's something called the modified internal rate of return. And the reason that people invented that is because they like percentages so much. But if you just use a straight IRR, that 14, and by the way, this function, doesn't even indicate, doesn't even tell you, hey, there might be a problem here, there might be another one. It just says that's the rate. It picks the first one here. All right, in our next video, we'll see that we can get in trouble with the IRR when we have mutually exclusive projects. All right, see you next video.